Oh, yeah.
You're
Check that out.
you now entering the cum zone.
Hey, there wasn't any milk at
There
the
will.
store.
There will be blood. And there will be cum.
Cum is anti-venom for, I don't know.
If you have,
That's not how it works.
if a hot girl has a venomous wound on her tits, the only way to dilute the poison is to cum in it.
Cum in her eyes.
No, in the wound.
That's what they like.
That's what a woman wants. They say
It's like,
they like
those eye drops. Hold their eye open.
hold their eye open. Time for your cum drops.
Gummies. Daddy's gummies.
Stepdaddy's cummies.
That's what I like. Monkey.
Monkey cum.
No.
So that's what you have
Just
to
like
do.
monkey. Well, well, well.
All right. Well,
There's some rapper guy. Call him Kanye.
I
Do you
don't
know who
know.
that is?
I don't know.
I think there's been some like celebrity drama around him or something.
Well, I have this brain chip that they made me get at my work. It has like my Google account and my Microsoft account and my vaccination record attached to it.
Ah, they must be a California-based company.
And I think that sounds familiar, but suddenly last week, I felt a zap in my brain and I couldn't remember who Kanye West was anymore.
Right. I think he's like a politician or something.
He did run for president.
Yeah, he did. But he was the meme candidate this time.
And yeah, he replaced that one guy who used to run who had a boot on his head.
No, I don't think. No. The one before that was the gorilla, Habanare, Harambe,
Habanare.
Haba,
Habanero.
Hammurabi,
Um,
Harambe.
fuck Harambe. They need anytime a gorilla acts up at a zoo, just shoot it. I don't care if somebody shoots a gorilla at a zoo.
I don't know why why people were super upset. It's like it's either shoot the gorilla or the kid dies. So I mean, obviously they're not gonna let the kid just get killed.
The kid may have been fine or had a broken leg, but yeah, obviously they're going to prioritize the human, which maybe some people think animals' lives are on par with humans, but most people probably agree against it. Anyway, yeah, who cares? It was because it was a meme, which whatever. It's the power of meme magic. Anyway, so the Kanye thing, people were, you know that it's become significant enough when your more normie friends and family are talking to you about it. I avoided the subject in the presence of like my family, so they wouldn't see my power level. But why don't we come back to that though? Because it's gotten to be such a big deal. I kind of want to talk about it more. So this was the tweet once again, and I'm pretty sure this was the only one. And they all obviously apologized afterward, but they don't care. I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Did they remove some of the punctuation from this? Or did he tab? I don't know. The funny thing is I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew also. You guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who opposes your agenda. So that's the thing that he said that they're calling him the reincarnation of Hitler over. And I saw a video the other day. Rucka Rucka Ali, who I've followed since I was like 15, um, who always makes the most offensive jokes about every race and group of people all the time, makes this big this big boohoo video about how Kanye West is Hitler and how he's so mean to Jews.
Really?
He's Jewish, by the way. Unrelated, but
Is
he
he?
happens to be Jewish.
He's made
Yeah,
some of like the most offensive racist music
and they often
that
do.
I've ever heard.
They often do. Like think about Borat. There are a number of them like that, but they don't want any of it coming back to them. What was that old adage about them crying out as they strike you? Uh, anyway, so that was. You want to start your game?
Yes.
Just rather than going back to the intro screen. Oh, you're already going. Okay. Anyway, so that's all. That's all it takes to get them to say that you're Hitler. Is for him to say something that I would say he probably has firsthand experience in, which is saying that they are like what? Hold on, let me look at it specifically so I don't paraphrase him. They toyed with him and tried to blackball him. Is his accusation against him, against them, and he says he's going DEFCON 3, a reference to DEFCON 3, which is military lingo. What specifically does that mean again? Do you know off the top of your head? I did not look that up prior to starting. DEFCON.
I don't.
You don't? Okay. It's some kind of some kind of I think it's dead. It's military.
You've been a naughty head crab.
You've been a naughty head crab. military lingo for threat level, if I remember right. Hold on. Now, so I don't sound retarded, let me just look it up really quick. Yeah. Yeah, they're conditions of an alert state on the used by the U.S. Armed Forces. So, yeah, he says he's going yellow alert on them, and then he says that they've toyed with him and tried to blackball him. And I mean, he didn't say anything specific, but he's in the He's been in the music industry for a long time, obviously, and in Hollywood a little bit. And he's been involved in a number of other business ventures. So if he says that they are toying with him and trying to blackball him, then maybe he has some insight on that. It's possibly not just random. And I've seen a number of videos and interviews that he's been in where he starts by making some kind of accusation against white people and receives no reaction, and then mentions that some sleazy businessman who he dealt with was Jewish, and then all of a sudden the host starts saying, "Why would you say that? Why would you specify that they're Jewish?" So,
Oh, that's right.
without getting into my opinions on that, it should be alarming to some. Well, it may cause the average thinking person to question. That's weird that doesn't alert them when you hit the edge of when you hit the grate like that. You'd think that would make a noise that would cause them to look at you. It should cause the average person to perhaps wonder why that specific thing seems to turn so many heads and get people so mad at you, and have him suddenly lose pretty much all of his net worth overnight. Maybe you would wonder who has done the things to him that would cause him to lose all of his net worth overnight. Like, I don't know, maybe if I was trying to dissuade conspiracy theories about a group that I belong to not being in control of the media and the banks and the upper management of a lot of businesses, I feel like maybe blackballing somebody anytime they say something bad about my group might not be a super good way to do it. Maybe that might raise some eyebrows if somebody accuses my group of something and then all of a sudden they are a bum in the street. They go from being worth like $1 billion to being a bum in the streets overnight.
You think Kanye's gonna be a bum in the street?
He's lost the majority of his net worth in the last 2 weeks. He lost like $600 million.
That must have really affected his credit score.
I assume his credit score, without accusing any particular group of being in control of the finance industry, I bet his credit score went way down. Um, uh, yeah, and yeah, you brought up. Here's Andrew again. Hello, Andrew. Michael Jackson felt the same way. Yeah, Michael Jackson said some interesting things at some point. He wrote this song called They Don't Really Care About Us that said some things kind of similar to what Kanye West has said. And suddenly, right after that, there were all these accusations against him for child rape. And interesting thing about Kanye is how everybody knew about it. Like it was the first thing that people thought of when they thought of Kanye for you know from about 2000, from about whenever it happened until when he died. Once he died, people felt bad for him again, but until then, he basically his name was Mud, and anytime people talked about him, they talked about how he was a pedophile.
Yep.
And there were all these jokes about him being a pedophile, and none of them actually came to fruition. There were a lot of accusations, and he went to court over a lot of it. And there's a lot of stuff on that. We could get more into that. I definitely think he was innocent, but yeah, all suddenly happened right after he said some things like that. So I wonder if maybe more people might start to question why this kind of thing is the case.
Yes, I don't. Well, I wouldn't have used the words that he did,
No,
even if
Kanye's a little bit
he
retarded.
has a point. Like, because just even the branding of it, it doesn't look good to say those things.
Yeah, he's quite a loudmouth, and he doesn't really think when he talks. Um, I think maybe though he didn't know that this reaction would happen. Maybe he didn't understand
Is he
exact.
dumb?
Maybe he didn't understand exactly how much control they have. He didn't realize how hell bent they are on punishing people for saying these kind of things. So he thought, like, he makes these he says these same kinds of things about a lot of people. He's laid into a number of different groups about who he thinks have wronged him in various ways, including, of course, white people and Christians. So I don't know. Maybe I think maybe he didn't realize what was going to happen when he said this. He thought it would be the same as all the other things that he said. So maybe
Right.
people should realize from this example that people are not as on equal ground as they think, and it's not because of civil rights. It's because there are significant powers at play who are trying to influence our culture in certain ways and make people think and behave in certain ways.
I guess so. Well, there's also the aspect that, like, this sort of also proves that minority groups aren't exactly all they don't all see each other as comrades. They're not
No,
all allies. I
no.
mean,
Then the push for that to be perceived to be the case is uh, the same. I saw a number of articles. I think what was it in response to? Something similar to this happened, and afterward there's something like Gene Simmons and a number of other Jewish celebrities were calling on uh, solidarity between blacks and Jews who have both been equally oppressed by everyone else. Um,
right.
it's a big problem for them if blacks started turning against them. They want them to be their shield. Um, and as you can see with Kanye, they're not going to show any mercy to someone who's against them just because they're not white. I think generally just about the same thing would have happened to a white person who said the same thing. Maybe slightly more severe, but not a whole lot. As far as like losing business deals and getting blackballed from the entertainment industry, it would be pretty much the same.
Right. I I don't know. I think it might be slightly worse if you were white. I mean, I think if they could get away with it, they would have a tax on different races, like they.
Oh, we joke about that, but we're probably a hop and a skip away from that becoming reality. An oppression tax, and even the playing field tax. Why not? I know every liberal arts college professor would be in favor of it.
Right.
Well, why don't it makes sense to me that we would have to even the playing field due to a history of systemic oppression that's caused black people to receive unfair treatment throughout history. In fact, the opposition, you being opposed to it, just shows the influence of white cultural norms influencing your mind.
I like this gun.
What is this game again?
Called Entropy 02 or 20, something like that.
Entropy.
Open the door, Hal. Give me your lunch monies.
I remember those guys. Usually you have to kill them somehow.
No, that's one of my slaves.
Oh, okay. Sometimes they
I
shoot.
haven't seen you very recently.
Sometimes
Which
they
makes
shoot.
Daddy very upset.
Sometimes they shoot you with their laser. Those are like, if I remember from Half-Life 2, those are like enslaved political dissidents. And they like butcher their body and turn them into those kind of cyborg things that just obey commands, and they're like kind of like a biocomputer.
Turn them into minimum wage workers.
They turn them into minimum wage workers.
That's me. This is me when I'm in the shower. Let me in.
Hashtag me.
I won't lie, this is definitely me. Killed him in his sleep.
Number 15. Political dissidents. If you say anything questioning about the wrong group of people, you just might find yourself on some scientist's workbench being turned into a mindless cyborg slave. Where's my...
Maybe if there's sound, I would be able to understand what's going on.
Where's my freaking thingy?
My thingy.
I need my thingy.
My ass is heavy.
Oh, I figured it out. YouTube deleted Andrew's last comment but it still comes to the OBS chat before it
It
gets
already
deleted.
loaded it.
I need to set up a program to show the chat on the screen. We are. I I'm starting to re-upload stuff to the Rumble, but I have to pay for it in order to stream on there, or get 100 subscribers. So one of those two things.
That's
He
so
says,
many. You'll have to make so many boomer tier videos in order to do that. Liberals.
"Oh,
When will
he
they
says
learn?
most Asians were able to recover in less than one generation after internment. I think, and people don't acknowledge this. It's weird also how like there aren't a billion Hollywood movies about the Japanese internment camps in the U.S., which you'd think would be more relevant for us, because it actually happened here, or like
That would make FDR look bad, and then
or the stuff that happened in Soviet Russia, where way more people were killed than in the Holocaust or in the Holodomor. Um, I don't know. I don't know why there aren't a ton of Hollywood movies about any of those things. That's so weird to me. I can't think of any reason why that would be the case.
oh,
Well, anyway, but that's that. Hopefully, seeing this will make more people wake up.
no,
Although, obviously, obviously, it's they want to scare people into not following suit as well. But it's easier it's easier to have soft power than hard power on a society. Meaning, if you get people to want what you want or think that what you think is correct, that's a lot better than forcing them to do it. Kind of like in Half-Life 2. They have this utopia like totalitarian society, but people don't like being under a totalitarian government, and they'll often rebel even if it will mean getting killed.
I don't know. I don't know if it's always. I mean, it's easy to say, oh, there's a big cabal behind the scenes controlling everything, but I don't know. I don't think it's quite that bad. I mean, I suppose it depends who you ask. The more cynical people do seem to think that it's, I don't know, a bigger conspiracy, but it could just be, what would you say? It's more like I want to prove how right I am, how what a good person I am. So I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon of also hating this person. So
For Kanye?
yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's not just
well,
Kanye, but it's like Alex Jones, it's Mike Lindell, whatever, right?
well,
It becomes
that's the
trendy to
that's the
hate that person
that's the
because it's
preferred method of doing it. If you want to control a society, it's much easier to make people think that they're doing the right thing rather than forcing them to do it or tricking. I mean, they're kind of tricking them, but rather than like coercing or threatening, they have this system in place. And they have a lot of influence over people, mainly through the media, and through teaching them all this like politically correct postmodern doctrine. and
politically correct
postmodern
neo-Marxism.
neo-Marxism. Yeah, I make fun of him, but I pretty much agree with that. Um, you the best way to control society is by getting people to think that they're doing the right thing. That's why totalitarian theocracies were often pretty successful. Um, so it's not like they're doing all these deals behind closed doors. There are a lot of things like they want Kanye to be removed off Spotify, so they're putting pressure on the owners, the administration of Spotify, to telling them, hey, you're not an anti-Semite, are you? Like you're not a Nazi, are you? So you're going to remove Kanye, right? Did they do it
It's
yet?
kind of like the Kiwi Farm situation. I don't know. I don't use Spotify, so
No, I'm looking. He is still on Spotify. Oh, that's a really lascivious album cover. I'm not listening to that. I'm not consuming any media that has that kind of thing in it. Yeah, so I partly agree with you. But it's not that they don't have the power. It's that they're using softer ways of controlling people, and the softer ways are more effective because they get people to think that they're doing the right thing, and then they'll do it completely happily, believing that they're a warrior for truth and they're stopping the bad guys.
I think that's. I don't know. You could argue that's one of the fundamentals of controlling people in general. But
Making them think that it's right.
yeah,
It's one method.
acclimate them to act on their own.
Yeah.
It's hard to say if, like, the morals that we have, if they're just naturally created, or I shouldn't say created, but like they naturally came about, or if they were manufactured, or if you can even remove morals. Can you manipulate people into not being pulled one way or the other morally?
Yeah, I think so. Like Yuri Bezmenov. That's his name, right? I always have to think about it. So I can never remember. Talks about how the length of time it takes to subvert a society is something like, I think he said 20 or 30 years. That might be wrong. It might be less than that. And the reason for it is that that's how long it takes to educate one generation. If they completely infiltrate the schools and have them teach all of their postmodern moral ideas, neo Marx or cultural Marxist ideas to the upcoming generation from elementary school to college, then they'll be able to use them as their foot soldiers for these kinds of campaigns for social control.
Throw it in the hole.
I wish someone would throw a grenade in my hole.
Ooh, look. The assault rifle.
That's good. You always need a bigger gun in life. That's some universal wisdom.
Nobody needs a car. Okay. You can walk everywhere.
Is there a military union? I didn't know that. Why does it?
Military.
Why does a government administration have a union?
Because we have every kind of union in the United States.
We have all of. We need all unions. You can't have rights without unions. Unions are proof that communist ideology works. We need unions. Yeah, I would say probably teachers' unions are part of their way of controlling the education system. But they probably focused their efforts particularly on the liberal arts students, who they know are going to become the teachers.
Well, I mean, there's
is
always going to be like legitimate grievances that you might have with your employer, and I mean it makes sense really that a union would come about. I think it's maybe sort of an inevitability because you do have more leverage the more people you have on your side. So
yeah, and then as it always does, it starts getting a power structure to it, and then it starts.
yeah, and then the union itself becomes.
Yeah, then the union itself becomes corrupt. It's like how the revolution often results in another totalitarian government. So that, the question is how do you get rid of the existing power structure, like the corrupt. They started when there were a whole bunch of corrupt businesses mistreating employees. Well, actually, no, wait. That was mostly happening way before unions were started, but I guess that was the premise for creating them. Then after you, like revolutions, after you get rid of the existing the existing power structure, then how do you create a new power structure that isn't immediately going to be corrupted when as the power consolidates or centralizes was the word I'm looking for.
So you create one centralized power to stop another
Oh,
centralized power.
I'm
And
sorry.
then the other centralized power becomes corrupt like the original centralized power did.
Yeah. I misunderstood what he said. He said we would never have a military union. And he said you would get court-martialed if you were a unionizing soldier. Yeah. You'd do that. You'd do that to solve the problem. Just fire anybody who joins the union.
I think they do that.
They do that?
The
Is that
problem
legal?
is that, yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
There's no rules against, like, you don't have to capitulate to unions.
Huh.
But
if enough of them
the
do
union
it,
can, they could set up picket lines or whatever.
they could
They have little
boycott
things.
you. Depends who has the most influence, I guess.
They could write to politicians, that sort of thing.
Yeah. If they get a stranglehold on the industry, like they have on several, then
Like what?
construction, I think.
Depends.
Teachers, pretty much, I think. Public school teachers. Maybe private school teachers. I mean, once they get enough of them that they, especially when it's to the point that some of them are where you basically have to join a union even if you don't want to, which that's kind of scary. That makes it kind of like a gang.
If you've read up on the history of unions, it's not really that that odd of a comparison because I mean unions used to like kill people.
Wow, I'm
Like we're
shocked.
gonna burn your house down. We're gonna burn your factory down.
Yeah. So it's so weird. That's so surprising.
Not that. I mean, it's not. I mean, on the other hand, it's not always like the poor business owners are never in the wrong, but
Right, they often are. That's kind of why. Well, that's the premise of why it
it
started.
just sucks to be on the
And
other end
obviously,
of the stick that's beating. You know.
there are all these horror stories about when the Industrial Revolution happened and they had these factories that treated people like slaves. Um, so I guess that's the premise for it. But yeah, then there's the question: how do you not make the new power structure corrupted? I wish it was as easy to walk across like extremely thin flat surfaces in real life as it is in video games.
Only like Source Engine games though, because Source uses box collisions.
Would other games not do that? I feel like that's the case more often than not.
Well, it depends. If they have a like a capsule collision, you probably can do that.
Oh yeah, yeah, maybe. You would start losing balance a little bit. You're right though. I remember in doing that in Gmod a lot. You remember one time? We should do Gmod on here so one of these times. We haven't done it for a long time though. Um, I was trying to balance and walk across this big tall wall that we built. We built a big beautiful wall, and it was the best wall ever, maybe ever. And I was trying to walk across it, and you grabbed it with your fizz gun and shook it and knocked me off. And I said
Yeah,
some 16 or 17-year-old words to you about it.
yeah. Gamer words.
Gamer words. Good times.
Gamer words.
Yeah, we should do that on this stream sometimes. Andrew says in his school, teachers are afraid to enforce dress codes because they don't want to get fired. Some girls dress like strippers with impunity. I probably wouldn't have thought so when I was in high school, but I think we need to have school uniforms like they do in Japan.
Do they always have school uniforms?
Where in
I
Japan?
noticed that.
I think
Yeah.
in most of Asia, I think they do that. With maybe excepting the poor countries in Southeast Asia, but even some of them do as well, I think.
Even the poorest. Well,
They know
we're all about
they know
freedom in
that
this
they know
country.
that
So
we're all about individualism, and if some
an independent thought,
if
critical
the
thinking,
if the
as
collective
long as it agrees
if
with
the collective
the
has an
message.
issue with my personal identity, which is totally unique, that I totally thought of myself, that wasn't influenced by outside powers, uh,
Yeah.
then it's their problem, and I'm right and they're wrong. Now there are cases where the opposite is true. Like there are times when it's good to speak out and to say I'm wrong, I'm right, and everybody else is wrong. So there's might be a happy medium between the two. Our problem in the U.S. is that uh, we have no like respect to our family or our school or our town or our country. Um, and in Asia, they have the opposite problem, where like any given one of them is willing to go along with the collective, even if they're doing something terrible. Um, but we definitely could bear to be a little bit more collectivist. And you can kind of, I mean, Japan's not a perfect utopia like weeaboos are often prone to thinking, but you can kind of tell how we have all these cultural problems and they aren't having them nearly as much. That's the best when you have to reload, right? Oh wait.
No, I was trying to use my kick
You're
to
just
kill
trying to
him.
use your kick.
He is a cop, so he's got a kick instead of a crowbar. Kick doesn't work that good though.
I would just use the crowbar all the time.
That's what Gordon Freeman does. I don't have a grenade.
When I played Half-Life, I played all the games when I was about 18. And I decided that to play them properly, I needed to do Half-Life 1 first.
Oh yeah.
And that game's a little older. It was made in like the mid-90s, I think. And it's pretty old. I'm going to play a kind of similar game today. But I don't know, it was ahead of its time for sure. But yeah, is not. Half-Life 2 is definitely head and shoulders above it. It is a little bit long.
There's nothing quite as nostalgic. I don't know, like
There's
Source
nothing
Engine
more cool
and Half-Life games
than
really
Source
have
Engine.
a feel to them that like a lot of modern games don't. Oh,
Half-Life 2 or
no,
Half-Life
just
1?
like all Source games sort of have a. I don't know, they're nice.
I like old Source games. We should use the Source Engine for our games.
You can, but it's hard as shit to use.
I saw
Oh,
someone.
they actually made Source 2, so I mean, you could.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Someone. I saw a post somewhere one time. I forgot where someone who worked, either for Valve. Yeah, it must have been for Valve. Was I think working on the engine script or the engine code somewhere, and we're like, I don't know how or why, but whenever I delete, was it a block of, I was going to say a block of code, but now that I think about it, I think it was actually a picture. Somewhere in the code folder structure, there was an image file, and if they deleted it, it broke the code. And they were like, I don't know why, but I could not figure out any way to delete this picture and have the code still work. So
Why
that's
would
why
that
it's still here.
be? I can't think of why.
I have
I mean,
no
like,
idea.
obviously,
Other
there
than
could
that,
be, like,
other than that, somebody made a sneaky line of code somewhere that messed up the program if the image was not present, which that is the kind of thing somebody who works for Valve would do. I can't think
intentionally
of
bad code.
I can't no just do that to be funny. But I can't think of an organic reason why that would ever happen. So it would have to be something super weird. Like they're rather in order to write like a sleep function, they had it like load the image over and over or something like that.
To slow the program down, you load a picture.
Yeah, for a sleep, if you wanted to slow something down intentionally. There's
Are there not better ways to do that?
No, of course there are. I'm just like, maybe that's one reason. I don't know.
I mean, maybe
I don't know. I assume it was just a prank. I assume some guy did it just to be funny.
maybe it's like you load it into memory and then it allocates that memory and then he replaces it.
Yeah, something stupid. Anyway.
Where are they coming from?
The balls, that's where it comes from. So since this is episode 34, and you know, if it exists, then there's porn of it. Oh,
Fuck.
it's an antlion king or whatever it's called. So we're gonna turn on our webcams at some random point during the stream and do a striptease, both of us at the same time.
Yes.
But we're not going to tell you when. You're going to have to
choreograph this.
Yeah, we choreographed. We do it in sync over
music.
Yeah, and over the
doing a dance would be
time.
more effort than most cam girls put in.
If we choreographed and coordinated a dance, yeah, and we practiced it to be able to do it in sync.
It's a cheese position.
It has putting more effort into your videos than the average TikTok star isn't a very high bar though.
It's true. They do a dance, but it's not even like an original dance. It's a dance that somebody else did.
Yeah, yeah, I have seen that. Yeah, they have some trendy song that's going around, and there's a specific dance that you do to it, and all the girls learn to do the dance, and they all do the exact same thing. I saw a little boy on TikTok. I was looking up something else on Google. I mean DuckDuckGo, and the name was the same as this little boy on TikTok, and he's 10, and he's a TikTok star, and I saw him, and he was disgusting. He looked like a fruit bowl. He's only one step away from that drag boy in New York. He'll probably become a drag boy. What? Oh yeah, Desmond is amazing. Yeah. I saw Desmond is amazing, and he wasn't amazing. Okay, I saw him. He wasn't. They were.
I saw him.
They were grooming him. They were sexually abusing him, and I want him out of New York right now. We're gonna send Desmond to Alaska, and we're gonna make him work on the fishing boats until he becomes normal again. And that's what we're gonna do when I become president.
We're gonna make him normal. Make Desmond normal again.
Make Desmond normal. Hashtag make Desmond normal. Let's get it going. It's probably too late. I think they've damaged him beyond return.
Oh fuck.
Hey, maybe someday he'll turn against them and they'll make a documentary about it. Probably not sponsored by any big Hollywood studios though. All right. Well.
That's what
aside from Conley, from Lay Gayfish. Oh, now you're fighting the Combine? Oh wait, or are those Resistance? Oh, you're fighting the Resistance people?
Yeah.
I would feel bad playing this. I'd be like, wait, I don't want to play the bad guy. I don't ever want to play the bad guy in video games. That's why don't make me play the trans woman in The Last of Us 2. If I played that, if I had bought it...
She's not supposed to be trans.
Whatever.
I mean, I know she's...
It's what she looks like. That was the artist's intention, obviously. If I played it and they tried to make me play as her, that's where I would drop the game and demand a refund, which I probably wouldn't get. Okay. So there's this big uh, scandal that came out. Oh, did someone post anything? Oh no, your tattooed sheep posted something in the memes thing. Um, there's a bunch of stuff about the DHS colluding with big tech companies over quote unquote content moderation. The original premise of this kind of I forgot what the situation was. They had some kind of portal for monitoring third party content that they controlled that interacted with the management of the actual Silicon Valley companies.
Yeah.
Uh,
Did this surprise anyone?
yeah, it's kind of like we already sort of knew that this was happening, but now it's actually in on in paper and ink. They can't really deny it anymore. So it was originally over stuff like terrorists, stuff like that. That's always the premise that they start with. What if somebody yells fire in a crowded theater? But that's not what's actually going to happen in application. They're going to say that it's to stop terrorists from recruiting people, and then what's actually going to happen is this, where they're removing political dissidents and people with anti-government ideas or supporting the wrong political candidate or talking too much about the Hunter Biden laptop scandal, and getting them to, remove groups and accounts and stuff like that, which is what was happening on Facebook in particular. I don't think Elon Musk is our based hero or whatever, but we do partially have him to thank that this came to light. For what it's worth, he seems to be attempting to make some changes to Twitter. I'm not committing to joining Twitter yet. I'm gonna see what happens first, but I don't know. It can't be a bad thing, I suppose. If at very worst, Twitter stays the same as it was. But anyway, just shoot it with your pistol. I think they explode when you shoot them. No? I don't know.
How do you detonate it?
Oh, there might be a button that you press.
Mm,
You try right clicking, pressing R.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Okay, it's T.
Oh, T. Okay.
T? Filled with T, sister.
There's gas. Shoot the
And
gas.
I'm in a chamber. Oh, there it goes. Sven co-op is still fun.
What's
Still a
Sven?
fun time on custom maps. It's a multiplayer version of Half-Life 1. It's actually free, if I remember. Like, you don't even need Half-Life 1, technically.
Wait, not Half-Life 1 Deathmatch?
Yeah, it's not deathmatch.
Oh, okay. I played Half-Life 1 Deathmatch a few times. It kind of looks like how games, kind of like when you tried to still use the legacy browser to find a game on Team Fortress 2. It's like it's all maps that are all like servers that are modded to hell and back, and there are like 5 people playing. Anyway, okay, DHS leaks. Yeah, so the Department of Homeland Security is influencing even beyond what they're just doing of their own free will, because Silicon Valley's super corrupt. And obviously, there's a lot of under the table deals happening. I think maybe a lot of it is people making. It's kind of people scratching each other's backs, like they've paid for each other to do these kinds of favors. Like when Obama did that huge quote unquote relief package that gave all this money to Hollywood and the porn industry and stuff like that.
When did he do that?
Right when
Was that
he was
part
elected. There's an yeah, you remember their big relief package or whatever it was called, the stimulus package.
No, I don't.
Is in 2009, right when he was sworn in, or shortly after. He gave like not very much for now, but a lot at the time to all of these companies that supposedly needed bailouts, and most of them were like Wall Street and banks and Hollywood studios and stuff like that. So I think that largely paid for all the propaganda that they did for him and for other Democratic candidates. Some of them, I'm sure, they do just for their own selfish purposes. But yeah, the government has been influencing them to do this even beyond what they were choosing to do by themselves. So that's why all this is happening with any Facebook group talking too much about Biden or Hunter Biden. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's a combine thing.
My soccer balls.
You're the soccer ball of death.
This is definitely me when I use drones to oppress, I don't know, whoever these people are.
They're
Nerds.
nerds.
Get wrecked in your electric room.
Rebel scum. Stop being a terrorist extremist. All the experts agree that the Combine, or what's the government in Half-Life called?
Go get him. Yeah.
It chases him down and explodes, right? Oh no, it zaps
him. I don't even have to do anything. I'll just send the soccer balls. And the saw blades.
Fighting
now they
against
set up a table.
the freaking man hacks is really annoying in the game. Doing it with anything other than the revolver is a pain in the ass. They should have rifles in this game. I guess there's the crossbow. It's the rifle equivalent. That was my favorite weapon, but I ran out of ammo on it really fast. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, all the experts agree that the Combine is the absolute moral authority in this society, and if you oppose them, it's because you're a bigot and a racist.
Racist, yeah. That's how you get your way with anything.
Yep.
Call them a racist. Have you seen
That's kind of old news. They need more buzzwords now other than racist.
They still use racist.
They do still use it.
They just throw it around real easy.
He keeps dodging you.
Too good. Looking each other in the eyes.
You're too slow.
Slow. Sonic.
I don't know if you have a stopping point on this game anytime soon. We're at about an hour now.
Okay, we can stop. We can stop.
Okay, let me make sure the audio is okay.
That's good.
I'll switch to mine in a second. Guess what I've got for you today?
Quake. Quake 2.
Idiot! It was supposed to be a surprise. Is there a Quake 2?
Yeah, they went all the way up to 3, I think.
I'd probably turn that up since it's
Unreal Tournament.
You know what? we'll just do this. I think this is kind of a remastered version. Oh. Did you ever play the original? Oops.
Quake?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Go with, yeah, I'll go with hard. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Oh. This is a significant game to video game history. I give this more credit for the development of modern first-person shooters than I do to Doom.
Really?
Yeah, I think this pioneered
More?
This pioneered more of the things that are standard for first-person shooters. The way they do guns.
Well, it's by the same company, isn't it?
Is it?
Let me check. I'm pretty sure they're both
You
id
have to-
Software.
You have to look. You have to look stuff up now since I'm doing this. I'm doing the important part now. I'm doing the main thing that people are watching.
Yeah, Quake is also by id Software, so
Oh, okay, never mind. It was a little bit later. Doom was much earlier.
John Carmack. I want to say he's like the main mastermind behind Doom and Quake.
Hey,
But-
yeah, that's. Oh.
There's
crap.
usually only one.
I am.
Right
Yeah, I
there.
kind of think anytime you have a group of people working together, you need someone who's kind of the visionary, who's in charge, and other people. They should listen to the ideas of other people, but their word has to go at the end of the day.
Yeah, every ship needs a captain. If everyone else has the same level of control, then the ship will basically never move.
Yeah, this is the problem whenever there are group projects that get together on like 4chan. There are some exceptions, like what's that game they made that you played?
Katawa Shoujo.
Katawa Shoujo, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the
But
time,
actually, something interesting about that is the different routes for the game. So it's a dating game, right?
it's like
so-
a
It's a visual novel.
visual novel.
But the different routes are written by different authors.
Okay.
So it is sort of, that author would have control over that portion of the game. So it
Okay.
is sort of still
I think
centralized in a way.
can I get them to shoot each other when they line up like that? Cutting it close again. Yeah, so that's one way to do it. You can compartmentalize what each person is in charge of. I wish I could crouch, though. Crouching wasn't invented yet. They didn't invent squatting until...
They didn't have knees back then.
It's okay to leave a dog in a hot car. It's my favorite song.
Yeah, I like the Beatles.
Hey, read whatever... Oh, if YouTube didn't delete it yet. I like the Beatles. If YouTube didn't delete it yet.
Says, did you see one of these girl boss coder ladies comparing her simple program to Carmack's fast inverse square root algorithm? I did not.
Dude, I swear half of them just say, like, the most annoying thing they can think of just to get, like, articles written about them. Just like the Daily Wire will be like, "Can you believe this liberal?" Right. A bunch of people posted on Facebook.
What does the Daily Wire talk about? Do you still
No,
like
not.
see them at all? I don't.
I kind of like Matt Walsh. I don't really care for Ben Shapiro. Has his place in the world, but he usually doesn't talk about anything that's of real significance. Like when any like voter fraud or a Hunter Biden scandal is going on, he's off talking about, okay, folks, today Palestine launched another bottle rocket into Israel. This is literally modern fashion, modern fascism. Okay, folks,
Modern fashion.
fashion. It's fashionable.
That's fashionable to blow up Israel. That's where
They were
people
talking.
misunderstand me.
They were
just 'cause
talking about.
I don't
They were questioning.
automatically like Israel, so they're like, "Oh, you must be a liberal."
They were listening to
Nah, bruh.
Kanye West music on Kiwi farms. Okay, this is literally modern fascism.
Have you followed the Kiwi Farms thing at all?
No, I've never really gone there.
So they are partially live. A lot of the United States can't access it, but most of Europe can. I don't know, it's kind of weird because, you wouldn't really think of any other, like, I don't know, do you deny service to someone just because you get emails? I don't know, it seems wrong to me. I don't particularly like Kiwi Farms, but it is sort of odd that you can petition a company to deny service based off of like just an email that you have.
Yeah,
Like, enough emails to
they get.
check, so.
Oh crap! They get a bunch of people together, and they all accuse them of. They're like, "Hey, are you going to take a stand against hate speech, or are you supporting hate speech?" And they're afraid that people are going to. They're going to lose a bunch of business, or they'll lose support from whoever. Probably now it's more that their ESG score is going to go down. I've seen more and more of that. We were talking about ESG a little bit a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And it's actually become sort of a household word at my... Oh, crap. At my company where I work. You know what? I can actually lure him into here.
Does it become
They talk
the coveted thing?
Well, they talk about it a lot. They're like,
Rewards.
wow, ESG is so good. We need to make sure that we have a good ESG score. ESG is the modern way of doing business. So I expect we probably will see more and more of that. Oh, you get right up close and you separate, you get separate pieces.
Wow, that really affects my ESG score.
That might affect the ESG score of this game. I think the anti-demon sentiment in this game is going to earn them a bad ESG score. Because demons have feelings too. In fact, a lot of our investors have a high relation to demons.
Well. The gang's all here. But I don't know. ESG doesn't directly earn you money is the problem.
No, it's that it influences investors. So for big
Yeah,
companies.
but investors should only care about how profitable your company is. Like,
Yeah,
if you
but-
were just pure capitalist, you should,
Yeah,
I
but
mean, if I invest in something, I don't care if
a lot of them,
person
a lot of
running
these
the company
companies
is a good
like
person. I just care if I get money back.
a lot of these groups, all these big Wall Street groups and people like BlackRock and Vanguard are starting to think about they obviously have an ungodly amount of money. They're not just thinking about money. They're thinking about political power and influence, and they're thinking about influencing society. So that's probably why they're doing it. And influencing society can also come back as money eventually. demon self. That's what I identify as.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just barely saw that. Hold on.
Mm.
What the heck? Why isn't it working?
You don't have to if it's too much work.
It's being a pain in the ass for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
Cursed life hacks. Whoa.
There we go. Okay.
Not have enough money? One day,
What?
just go for
No
cigarette,
money.
come back. What? No more family to take care of. Whoa.
Whoa. Just live for yourself. Be an empowered woman. And you know what?
Talking about men who leave their families, but either way, it works.
I think the same people telling women to be feminists are probably encouraging men to do the MGTOW thing and starting threads on /poll and stuff saying like, guys, I hate women so much, it's unbelievable, that kind of thing. Those are the same people who start threads saying stuff like, hey white boy, how does this make you feel? All the same people. Yeah, all the same people who Terry Davis talked about, who you just need to run over with your car. Free
Soon your
software is
car.
one way to get around ESG. The Suckless team are all coincidentally... Oop. I hate this guy with his freaking grenades, damn it. Ah. See if that's all of the guys right around here. Alright.
Suck. Suck. I like that.
They're so scary.
Monkey. He's gone into monkey mode.
I'm about to go full monkey mode. Watch this.
That double-barreled
This
shotgun
is-
has a lot of rounds in it.
This is what's called monkey mode. This is what I call my monkey. My signature
Activate
monkey.
monkey. You have shown me monkey.
Monkey. Oh yeah, just stay right there and go walk right into your own grenade. That's the fastest way to kill those guys.
So what do you think about Elon Musk laying off half his company?
I think the less Twitter employees there are, the better.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, in a way though, I do feel bad for him though, because
I don't.
I doubt that all of them, everyone getting laid off is, you know, part of the
Complicit.
screecher crowd, you know?
Alright. Fair enough.
Because I mean,
but
look, like I know people who work for, you know, a Mang company, and they don't agree with, you know, the politics of the company they work for. For them, it's just a way to pay the bills.
yeah, fair enough. You know, though, in the old Wild West, anybody who traveled with thieves was hanged alongside the thieves.
In a way, you are complicity if you don't speak out.
Yeah. Oh, that's one way of doing it. Ah! Did not see that coming. Yeah, this is a forward-thinking game. Ah!
Like the Binding of Isaac, but the first-person shooter. And also you're using a gun instead of tears.
Tears is what you shoot in The Binding of Isaac?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh my gosh.
You know what we should do? Are half the Twitter employees crucial to the success of the company? I would say a good portion of them are, probably. They might serve some function. Obviously, you see those
What? There's another
those
one?
videos of the marketing department, and she goes in and she eats chia pudding and drinks raspberry martinis or whatever all day. But
Oh,
I mean,
God.
I'm sure there are plenty of people at that company who are doing work, and they're
Oops. It's doing keyboard ASMR again. I need to like put a sign in front of me to
probably
remind me not to do
is.
that.
There probably are quite a bit of people at Twitter who, or were at Twitter, who served some function, because you have this big complex machine, and the company, the workers
kind
there do know
Damn.
do know their own little, they have their little snapshot of what's going on, and when you get rid of that person, you're losing that knowledge. So, you know, like you might they might be using some library, and it's like, oh, you try to call it with this number and it's not working, and then you go talk to the person, and they're like, oh yeah, well, we made that library for this purpose, so we didn't really take into account someone putting this number into it. It's always got to be a positive number or whatever, right? But,
I mean, part of it's though, like, do I care if Twitter is successful?
yeah,
So
there's always that aspect too.
if Twitter fails, then they'll start going to the Twitter alternatives, including Gab, which I support.
They won't go to Gab.
Well, some people will go to Gab.
They will go to a company. Well, no, the company that they can control will be promoted above Gab.
Some people will go to Gab. At least the people
I
who
think
we
the
want.
people who.
The people
I think
who.
everyone who wants to go to Gab have already gone to Gab, frankly.
I don't know. A lot of people don't know what it is yet, even. Does anything happen if I shoot you?
Then how would you promote Gab? You'd say it's like Twitter, but
it's Twitter, but for
it's Twitter, but there's
people.
racist people on it.
Well, I mean, part of it's like the only reason we're on Discord is because that's where a lot of people are. Otherwise,
Yeah.
If all the people we wanted to interact with were on Element, then we would just do that. Did the guys come out yet?
Yeah, but the problem is they're not there. We can't just hope that they'll be there someday.
Yeah, I'm saying if Discord dies, people go to the other Discord alternatives, and that's one of them. So some people will go there.
Would they go to that, or would they go to some new thing?
I mean, the new thing will get people as well. But when people they'll go to their friend groups and say, "Hey, what are we going to do now? Discord's gone." One person knows what Element is, and so they're like, "Okay, let's use that." So like, it's not all cut and dry. There's going to be a lot. It's kind of like you release the gas from a closed area, and so it starts diffusing out to the areas around it. I'll just kill you right now. Actually, I should probably save my ammo.
Frog gave me a wing state. For a leggings.
Offences be not eaten. See if I can get rid of you. Good, that's... I will need to back into this spot, probably. I think that was part of my problem before. Okay.
I need to embrace the douchebag aesthetic.
Alright.
Dun, dun, dun,
I think that hurt me as well. I think I didn't see that one comment. He said men sent their own way rather than men going their own way because most have been dealt shitty cards. Well, I think I know a lot about being treated badly by a woman, so I will not contradict you there. Uh, but I think I still stand by what I think, though, that the powers that be want to get rid of the family unit as much as possible because it makes society easier to control. If you get rid of organic society as much as possible and have a state-dependent society, then people are easier to control, which is what they want. But yeah, I don't disagree with what you said, though. Said, ideally you can find someone eventually who has the same general moral ideas as you and will commit equally to the relationship as much as you do. But there's probably going to be a lot of trial and error involved in getting to that point. Does he just respawn over and over?
I don't know, never played this. Your guy's crying blood.
Yep. He has blood leaking out of his eyes.
That's what it's because he's got COVID. He's gonna die of COVID soon.
When are you gonna die, damn it? Ah, fuck. Hate this
The
map.
necropolis. Oh, you did it there, bloody.
I feel like I'm in a fucking necropolis. I get all of them? Wonderful. Alright, now I gotta get rid of these guys.
I am Mr.
Jesse, how many times do I have to tell you to get the propane? We gotta make... We need the propane to make the meth. Ah! Asshole.
What else? What else? What else? I don't know. Biden's being the funny man. I guess he said, can't trust democracy in this country if the Republicans win the next election cycle.
Who did?
Which is a nice unifying statement from him. Biden.
Biden's always saying all these nice unifying statements. Like,
yeah.
We
so
need
basically,
to have...
he's saying if the Republicans win the next cycle, which it seems like they're going to,
he's always like,
then all elections after that are moot.
yeah, because Republicans will do all these things to commit voter fraud, like create mandatory voter IDs. And not let illegal immigrants vote, and so then no Democrat will ever have a chance to win ever again.
That's what Stallman seems to think.
What'd he say?
He says that Republicans are stopping people from casting their vote, and therefore that's election manipulation.
Well, through
various methods.
Sometimes people who are smart at some things aren't smart about other things. Or they get paid by somebody to say something, or have bad influences around them.
You think he was paid by anybody?
I think a lot of people who have a lot of social influence have people contact them about helping them to spread the message and getting some kind of compensation for it.
The message.
The message. Hey, you want to help spread the message, right? And if we motivate you, then you'll do it, right?
My parents want me to watch Braveheart. Uh, why, Andrew? Is there a new Braveheart, or are
There's
they talking about like the old one?
the original Braveheart, or is there? Yeah, is there another one? Did that guy get crushed by the thing? That's another old movie that Hollywood could ruin. Only the main character died. Spoiler alert. So they would have trouble making a new one.
It's got Mel Gibson in it.
That's right. It had Mel Gibson, so they don't want they don't want that anymore. I thought I already killed
What's wrong
you.
with Mel Gibson?
He said things similar to Kanye. And,
Oh, did he?
got people mad at him. Yeah.
This is extremely dangerous for our democracy.
It is. Yeah.
I love democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. I'm paranoid now. I always think that 20 guys are going to come out. Why are you here?
It's not democracy unless my side wins. Okay. So there's a lot of focus on Florida. Maybe that's just in alt-light circles like Temple, but why would you say that is? They like to talk about DeSantis a lot, and I'm not entirely sure why.
Sorry, one sec. That is interesting, Andrew. And yeah, he's more of, I guess, or he originally would have been a more classical liberal, which were more anti-authoritarian. So that part is good, but obviously, when it's a right versus left issue, obviously he's going to be on the left side, like many of them are. Anyway, sorry. Why the focus on Florida?
Yeah,
probably because of DeSantis. And Florida used to be more.
It seems like it's. Yeah.
It used to be a blue state, and it was a swing state for a while, and now it's becoming more of a red state, and I'm sure many people are upset about that. Here, I'm gonna try doing this time. Oh, that's it. That didn't turn out well. Okay. Damn it. I fucking hate this map. I'm gonna just run straight to that part and see if I can get through it so I don't waste so much time. Pro tip for really hard video games, do the hardest part first if possible.
Wait, how?
What do you mean how? You choose whatever. If you have multiple choices for which part to do, then you do the hardest part first.
I mean, aren't the later levels harder than the earlier ones?
No, I mean in this map, I keep dying in that same spot, and I did a bunch of other stuff before I went to that spot, and then it was wasted because I died.
Oh.
So you get the hard part out of the way first, and you get more practice for how to do it, and you learn how to do it, so that you don't spend a half hour getting to it the next time and then just die again.
Andrew says it's the 1995 one. They've been telling me to watch it because they saw and liked it recently.
Oh.
I mean, like, it
was a decent movie.
I have a hard time convincing myself to sit down and watch something.
A movie?
Especially
if
you don't watch movies? Yeah.
I mean, not that that's a bad thing.
Well, like, if there's one that, like, it's gotta... If I'm not already interested in watching it, forcing myself to watch it is kind of a difficult task.
What the heck? What's going on? Did I exit on accident? I think I exited on accident. Hold on. whatever. Perfect. Yeah, I don't know. There are some movies that are good every once in a while, even though Hollywood is mostly trash now.
I just wonder what Ganon's up to.
You know, sometimes I wonder that myself.
What is he up to?
What is
This is
Ganon
going to
up
affect Ganon's ESG score for his company.
This is a serious threat to our democracy.
Ganon?
Ganon is a serious... Oh, that was stupid of me. Oh, that's what does that.
Yeah.
One of my professors one time talked about squeaking doors and shiny objects in life. How sometimes sometimes something catches your eye for an inexplicable reason, and you feel like you're going to like it, or that it's going to be important to you. And then that feeling, for some unknown reason, is often accurate. And same thing, if something really seems to rub you wrong for an unknown reason, and then you look into it more, that feeling often tends to be accurate as well. Maybe not always, but I think you tend to know something is good or bad before you know why it's good or bad. Ooh, dang it, you got me.
Speaking from experience here.
I would say so, yeah, generally. I mean, sometimes you're surprised. Like, I thought that the movie Ocean Waves, it's a Ghibli movie, was going to be really cool when I saw some clips of it somewhere. And I watched it with some of my siblings, and we were all like, I was kind of like, that was about maybe a 6 or 7 out of 10. And my little brother was like, I'm trying to think of anything good to say about it.
It's bad. There's nothing redeeming about it.
It was okay. It was a mediocre rom-com that was made in the 90s and was very 90s. Oh, that's interesting. They don't freeze entirely when you go into this screen. They only go into slow motion. That's kind of cool. Alright, why don't I just do this?
Yeah, the way the animations look, they kind of... I keep thinking that they're claymation.
The enemies?
Yeah.
Huh. What? I killed myself. If I don't beat this level this time, I'm going to hang myself right where I'm sitting. I'm going to hang myself with some... What did they say Epstein used? Some bed sheets or something.
Yeah, paper bed sheets.
I'm going to use some paper bed sheets to hang myself.
What if he really did kill himself?
What if he really
Whoa.
did kill himself?
What if?
You never know. A stopped clock is right twice a day, and the legacy media doesn't lie every once in a blue moon.
Well, the fact that they didn't really fight they didn't call Epstein killing himself, not killing himself, dangerous misinformation. So maybe...
Maybe. There's also just, you know, the Streisand effect. You talk about something too much and more people will talk about it. A lot of times I think they just want to avoid drawing more attention to it, so they just kind of... They let the dissenting voices have their day in the sun and hope that eventually they'll shut up.
If it be not eaten.
Die, damn it. What the heck? I definitely hip collision boxes were still in development when this was created. Gosh dang it. I'm wondering... I want to know if... I want to know if this guy, another one appears right when you kill him. I'm wondering if he just respawns over and over.
You supposed to just run past him?
Yeah, maybe you're just supposed to run past him.
Rick. So this is a...
Oh, jeez, Rick, this guy's really scary.
There's a, an article here by digitalspy.com, how Rick and Morty finally gets incest right.
Okay. What does he do? Does he bang his sister or something?
There's been a lot of incest in Rick and Morty. It's kind of weird.
Between who?
Between the family members. His sister and him, but...
Wait, really? I only watched it,
like season 1 and season 2.
Oh, yeah, I watched...
Too, but...
Yeah. Okay. Is that it?
Do you think happened to McAfee?
McPhee?
Yeah, the antivirus man.
I'm not...
Supposedly...
His software is really annoying. It installs automatically with certain programs.
no,
did something happen to him?
Supposedly he killed himself, but people suspect that he was killed.
Did he say or do
Something
anything
like that.
interesting within the months or year or so prior to his death?
He said something about having evidence of government people being pedophiles or something or other.
Oh, interesting. Well, that is a recurring story. Like, who was it? Andrew Breitbart, I think, said that he had some kind of super damning evidence against Obama, and then he just suddenly dropped dead as he was walking down the street. That's happened a number of times to people of political interest. Like they just have like an aneurysm or something, or they have like some kind of What was this? What was the official story? He had some kind of oh crap. Blew that right in my face. Anyway, there's a conspiracy theory about the feds having some kind of heart attack gun that they have kept secret. And then there's a number of secret weapons that might exist that they use against people who they don't like, and they don't tell anyone about it. Ah, crap.
Passed away at his home. Wait. What?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta kill some of these guys.
Let's see.
Fuck.
Software made of millions. John McAfee was also paranoid, eccentric, convinced the FBI was on his trail last year. He found dead in prison. A new Netflix film, Running with the Devil, investigates this controversial figure. Okay.
Oh, that's so
Is
weird.
he controversial?
So they call him controversial, and they also call him paranoid. So he was a paranoid eccentric who said the FBI was after him, and then he died randomly. That's a really interesting string of events.
Okay, I finally found an article that gave me an answer. Prison guards found the 75-year-old antivirus software pioneer hanging in his cell. Okay. Spanish authorities ruled his death a suicide.
Why was he in Spain?
Yes. I think it was in Barcelona. Yeah, I don't know.
Did he
'Cause
leave the country? Like
probably he said
Assange?
something naughty, and then
He said something, he revealed some bad boy information, and then he fled the country like Snowden and Assange. Ah, crap.
that's right. You're not allowed to say that. It's dangerous to our
It's
democracy.
dangerous. Very dangerous to our democracy.
You like cats over dogs? It's very dangerous to our democracy.
You know, only if they prefer dogs for some particular reason. If somebody of interest prefers dogs for some reason. And crap. This level is stupid. It's not my fault for not being good enough. It's the game's fault for being
We're being
stupid.
built wrong.
They built the game. They programmed the game. They forgot to make the game fair.
I know someone who is a blue boy. Do you have any questions I should ask? What is a blue boy, for one?
Is that a 3-letter agency person?
Is it a cop?
A cop? I've known plenty of cops. I would be curious about. I don't know what questions you could ask him that wouldn't get you put on a list, though. I don't want you to go. I don't want to send you off on a suicide mission, but I still don't have the nail gun though. Should I go get the nail gun before I do this? Nah, I'll just run through this real fast and go get it.
Tell us what a blue boy is, Andrew. Tell me.
Tell me about these blue people.
I need to know for my own personal records.
What could you ask a Fed that... Maybe, pretend to just be, like, asking out of interest, like, oh, hey, I have a funny question. Gosh, dang it, that was stupid of me, dang it. Shot a grenade right in his face. Probably kill himself by doing that. Oh, you know what? As long as I'm done.
Tells me he doesn't like Israel. Interesting.
The Fed person does?
Or us.
Oh.
Is there any reason to like Israel other than that we're just told to like it?
Hey, they're our greatest ally. Be respectful.
That's
my greatest ally
diversity.
you're talking about. Don't
You're
disrespect
supposed
my
to like
greatest
it
ally.
because you're told to like it.
Hey, that's my greatest ally you're talking about.
Diversity?
No, Israel. But diversity is our second greatest ally. Our greatest strength is diversity, and our greatest ally is Israel. And if you question it, it's probably because you're a chud.
But I mean, there should be reasons for
Wanting reasons for believing something is something that an anti-Semite would want. Okay? And you wouldn't want to be an anti-Semite now, would you?
You can get Twitter Blue for $8 a month. I don't know, it is good though, because if Twitter becomes a paid platform, that means advertisers have less control. We won't give you money. Get your money, get your money.
Oh, you can suck somebody.
I've watched you fight this Yeti a lot.
I don't know what it is. It's very scary. It's very scary.
That's me at 3 a.m. trying to get a snack out of the fridge. I make that noise. Oh. And I stub my toe in the dark. He wasn't even prompted, I don't think. He just went on a tangent about how he didn't like them.
Wait,
I mean,
by
a
blue
lot of-
boy, do you mean a blue checkmark person? You never told us what a blue boy is. I need to know what a blue boy is before we can proceed with, oh my gosh, with this conversation.
Oh,
This is the time.
this is Blue Boy World.
You
We're
in-
all just blue
You in
boys
blue
a
boy
Blue
territory
world.
now.
You came to the wrong blue neighborhood.
Where are you? I hear him, I don't see him. Okay. Probably clipped into the wall again.
Blue. Where's Blue? You talking about the blue jackets that the FBI wear? 3-letter agency. CIA. It's one of them. The IRS. The new IRS agent trained to kill. Hey, that $60. Give it to me. Needs to go to Ukraine. UN
Our second
declares
greatest
war
ally.
on dangerous conspiracy theories.
What was
No.
dangerous conspiracy theories?
The UN declares war on them, saying the world is not secretly manipulated by the elite.
Oh, the UN says so? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I guess we can put that debate to rest then. What happened?
that's right. If the elites say that they're not secretly controlling things, yeah, it's not secretly controlled. They're doing it right in front of our faces.
Gosh.
I don't know. I think everyone knows that Facebook spies on you, but they still use it. So there's no secrets.
Gosh dang it. Cannot believe I lived through that. Is that not a shooty thing? Oh,
You can go up the
South.
brick sticking out the wall.
oh, thank you. That would have taken me like 15 minutes to notice.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. One laptop per child.
Every child. We believe that every child needs a laptop. Every child needs the right to vote. The voices of our youth aren't being heard.
Vote on your laptop.
We need
I think voting machine software
Online
should
voting.
be free and open source.
online voting to be sent to every person.
This is my voting machine software. It's written in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript using Angular. This is the most secure software ever made. There's no security holes in JavaScript. Ever. And
All the
there
best-
have never been.
All the best
All the best
software.
software is written in JavaScript. How did they let that happen? Letting JavaScript
Oh, that
and
probably.
Java.
Oh my gosh. Just do that just to
That was
scare
an
me.
asshole move.
That was so mean. Like, well, I don't see any other way to get through this part. Like, my gosh, after all that, I'm gonna have to start over again. That's how these old video games were. There was no mercy or hand-holding. They were just like, Oh, were you not good enough? I guess you just get to start over and do the whole 3-hour game all over again from the start.
I guess you just have to accept that you're going to hell. Oh, look, they made another one. Monkey.
I think they're gonna
You
keep.
have shown me monkey.
They're going
Ask
gorillas on
him
me.
if you're talking to an actual blue boy. Ask him how to actually stay out of their radar.
No. You got to think about it tactfully. Ask as if you're just asking out of random interest what kind of information their magic person searching database has in it. Like what kind of information they can search people based on to find positive results, and what kind of information about a person they have in it. You can't dedicate too hard to it though. You have to sound like you're like, oh, so what kind of things can you like find out about people on that like magic database that you guys supposedly have, that they have in like the Jason Bourne movies and stuff like that. Well, finally got through that stupid map. Where are we at? We're at 1:50. We can stop whenever. I assume I'm not going to beat whatever this is. Oh.
Do you think Quake is a comfy game?
No, it's a game that makes me really mad. But I tend...
You like the atmosphere of it?
I tend to play games that make me really mad, though. I did start it on hard, though, and I didn't play it at all before yesterday. So that's part of the problem. Maybe should have done it on medium for the first run. But I think it's cool, though. I really admire it for how forward it was for the time when it was made. I assume that thing is going to lower as soon as I shoot this. Oh, but it went down rather than staying where it was. Does that mean they're gonna... Oh, that means they're gonna come right here. I can just rain grenades on them. I have the upper ground. I have the high ground.
Interdasting. So do you know about one laptop per child?
No.
Okay, so it's a charity that, they try to make laptops for, little African children so they can learn technology or whatever. Do you think that there's monitoring systems in the EXO laptop that they give out to them?
I don't know. Do they care to monitor children? Not to be racist, but do they care about like what's going on in the life of a child in a third world country?
Maybe they do. I mean, they care enough about random citizens to put spy devices everywhere in their houses, and
well, it's not necessarily for a specific reason. They just want as many ears as possible, but I don't know if it would matter for, I don't know. Maybe I should stop talking. Yeah, I mean, likely. Probably. I mean, pretty much everything. Any Windows after, like, 98 probably has some level of spy software in it.
The Sam Hyde paradigm shift is coming true about teaching African children JavaScript. Yeah. I mean, well, he said that because it is sort of exactly what the TED Talk type people want to hear, so,
Can I stay underwater indefinitely?
I don't know. I don't like underwater sections in video games.
If I don't have to breathe, then that's fine. Oh, okay. I do have to breathe. You know when he starts choking.
What's the matter with him? He can't swim at high speeds underwater and hold his breath forever.
Dude, have you ever swum down to like 20 feet below water? It
No, I
makes
don't
it
like the
makes
water that much.
it makes your ears start to hurt really bad. You have to if you're going like scuba diving or whatever. You need special equipment for it. Ah, crap.
Sam. I
Sounds
mean,
like
normally your ears are subjected to about 1 atmosphere of pressure. So
yeah, that's why. Yeah, keep throwing those grenades, bouncing them off the wall right back into yourself. I noticed their pathfinding is very limited. They don't seem to be able to find me if I'm around a wall from them. So you probably won't be able to find me. I think they just wander randomly if they can't see you. On the note of Sam Hyde, I've noticed he's uploading... Oh, I got a new gun. He's uploading videos again to like YouTube. I assume they're on his website first and then they put them on YouTube. But he's starting to seem to become more like a standard YouTube personality, which would be, if that happens, that would definitely be too bad. That seems to be how it ends up a lot of the time.
how do you mean standard YouTube personality?
Like, a video showed up that in my feed that was like, it had Sam and Nick. Gosh dang it! It had Sam and Nick with their faces in front of the screen and like that really kind of like clickbaity, eye-catching thumbnail, which we never do. We never do that kind of thing. When we do it, it's ironic though, so that makes it okay.
That sound effect when you press the button, the guys spawn in. I've heard that so many times. The little high-pitched noise.
I'll have to notice it next time I do it. There are some sound effects like that though that keep getting reused for forever. I think it's like an inside joke in the industry, like the Wilhelm scream in movies, and
Yeah.
that one little electric sound that like kind of shocking devices make.
Yeah. Oh, I never noticed that one. The Wilhelm screams everywhere, though.
It's the effect. Where is it?
Is it really that funny, though?
No, it's old. Honestly, I think the joke has been beaten to death. The shock. Do you know what shock sound I'm talking about? They used it once in the Faces of Evil clips. I can't remember where. I think it was in one of the transition screens. I can't make it with my mouth, but it like...
I think I do know what you mean. Is it like a Tesla coil sound, or is it more like a...
Yeah, it's kind of like a Tesla coil sound. Maybe that's just how they make them, so that's why. Oh, I got the key, and I think that means I can go to that other room now. I don't remember where it was. Oh, I do take fall damage. Now I know that for future reference.
No, I know.
Okay.
It's about 2 hours, right?
Yeah. Do you want to stop?
Once you find a stopping point, I guess.
Maybe. I might...
So what's the premise of this game? Because
You're fighting demons and killing them because they're
It's
evil.
the same as Doom.
Yeah. I don't know. They didn't have complicated backstories to video games. Frankly, I don't think you always do. I don't think you always need one. They try to make... Like, every time there's, like, a game and it's about zombies, there has to be this cool thing. And, like, oh, there was this lab and they were experimenting to find the meaning of life and try to create immortal people, and they became zombies.
I think one aspect that's never really touched upon in zombie movies is that people would be fighting over women a lot more than
I can't have
they
that.
show.
They have
Yeah,
to empower women. In fact, the women... Why do only the men fight over women? The women should be fighting over women, too.
yeah. The 50 blessings. What?
50 blessings. Hi, puppy. Que paso, güey?
I don't speak Spanish.
Spanache.
Spanish.
I haven't seen you before 50 blessings. What's your story?
He's the Fed.
He's a Fed. Oh, we've attracted
We're all
the
feds.
Feds now. No, it's since there's two of us streaming, there's a pretty good chance that one of us is a Fed. Did I get all of them?
Everyone's
oh,
a Fed. I'm Fed. You're Fed. We're all Fed. We're all Fed.
I don't know how much longer this one goes. I assume I must be close. I've been going for quite a while. Ah, that wasn't smart. Dang it. I need to look before I leap. I should just not use that weapon anymore.
You're super skill all over. Oh, ho, ho.
Haha. I'm totally gonna die. Ah! Get away. I haven't been able to differentiate between different ammo types. I wonder if it's just random.
Don't you get... Well, actually, what do they do in this game?
I don't know.
Thought they just gave you every kind of ammo at once.
Maybe. Which, that's great. I support that. Let's just always do that. Oh my gosh, I won. Oh! This game hard. Speak spinach. You speak the spinach? No.
I just...
I speak a spinach.
I got kidnapped by the cartel a few years ago and had to escape them first of all. Had to fight through them like Rambo. And then I had to hitchhike my way back to the United States. So I learned Spanish, that's why.
Makes sense. It's a solid alibi.
Oh, hold on.
We need to build
A wall.
a 3D printer,
Alright.
and then this 3D
print
printer
walls.
needs to print machine guns. And then we need to give these machine guns to school children, and then we can call the ATF on
Guns
the
for
school
kids.
children. It needs to be free and open source firearm
Free and open
development,
source.
open
That's true.
sauce.
If we had free and open source firearms, then there wouldn't be a military industrial complex.
That's right.
That could be one way to do it. All right. Well,
That's what I say.
that was fun. I'm glad seat juiced movement. I'm glad I wasn't stuck on that level the whole time. As long as I beat it eventually, then it's still okay.
That's what Hatsune Miku would have wanted.
We needed to work on our Ben Shapiro impressions before we did this one. I didn't know you were going to put it in the thumbnail. That's our that's gonna be our next goal is Ben Shapiro impressions. We have a list of voice impressions that we have to work on. I can learn almost anyone if I work on it enough. I couldn't do Trump or Biden very easily at first, but what I do is I play videos of them in the car usually. Like I'll listen to their speeches. Listening to Biden's speeches is painful, by the way. Like he just
I know.
he just lies constantly, and they're not even very believable lies.
Yeah, but his audience believes him.
Yeah, I guess they figure the final two people who are still listening to him and believing him are going to listen to him anyway. Anyway, so I put up
Everyone
with
already
that.
knows what side they're voting for, frankly.
Yeah,
So
probably.
he can say whatever he wants.
I put up with that just for you guys to learn to do Biden. So if you have suggestions, I will add them to the list. I've made a lengthy list of voices that we both need to learn. And a few more that I'm working on that I need to practice.
How can we be free if we don't have a free laptop
Yeah,
to teach
we
JavaScript?
we need a laptop for all the children with Windows 11 or Mac OS on it, or OS X or whatever they call it now.
No, they put Debian on it.
Debian
Yeah, they put some sort of Debian
on the ones for African kids.
Yep.
What?
I don't know. It's similar to how Raspberry Pi has their own version of Debian that they use on their hardware.
I don't
It's sort of
know.
the same idea.
Maybe they put their spyware on it. I don't know. I'm surprised that they didn't favor
Probably.
something else. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't think they focus a whole lot of energy on Africa and Southeast Asia and the Middle East and stuff like that. I think they're more concerned with Western countries, so there probably wouldn't be much of a market for selling their data. I'm not saying that to be mean. It's just, oh, one of the lights in my fans is going out.
That's the feds
That's probably the
attacking
feds.
your light.
The feds are attacking my RGB. I actually don't really care about about gay menning up my computer. It just came with the fans that I got for it.
That's why I use ugly brown Noctua fans.
Know what I want? I want one of those. Oh, we already talked about this in the past. We can keep doing this though. We can keep repeating stuff. I want a computer case that's just like that plain. What's that color called? That like tan color that everything in the 90s and early 2000s was
Cream?
Cream. There might have been something else.
Eggshell.
Beige.
Beige.
Might be beige.
Well, they were white before, but they became yellowed over time because the
Just like
plastic oxidized.
just like Ariana Grande.
Yes.
Is that why they made them white they made them white when they made them and then they slowly became yellow? Some of them they always seem to be that like tannish color though. Anyway, that's what I want. for my computer tower, and I want like yeah, it's well it's opaque obviously, so I can just put whatever I want into it. I haven't I
I
haven't
mean, you can just get an old case, but the problem is that
probably won't have the attachment pieces for all the stuff you need. Hardware is
well,
not my
it's not
strong
as
suit though.
nice to install stuff. So, like, a lot of modern cases will have a hole cut out in the back of the motherboard location, so you can access the CPU cooler
Uh,
screws instead of
well,
taking out the whole motherboard to change the cooler.
in the next 10 years, 90s computers will be a retro movement, and so somebody will make like a plain beige colored case that
Yeah.
has all of the stuff inside it that you need for modern gear.
You
Uh,
know, I was just thinking today, like when I was a kid, I found my dad's old calculator, and as a kid, I didn't appreciate it, but now I'm like regretting fucking it up and like dumping it underwater and stuff. But I don't know. I guess it got him through school. So
Unicomp makes Model MS still. I'll have to look at that. That sounds interesting. Yeah, I want to collect old computers in the future when I have money that I don't need to survive. I have a bunch of old 80s and 90s hardware. Play those old like Reader Rabbit clicking games on them.
I don't think that'd be as entertaining. I don't think it's worth it to boot up the old computer to play old educational games. But
No, just I don't know, just to mess around with them. I probably wouldn't spend that much time on it. I just play with the old, I don't know, the original Microsoft Word and stuff like that. Try to browse the internet with the original Internet Explorer. Would it even work? I don't know. Probably not. It probably wouldn't have an interface for any of the modern equipment. It'd be looking for like routers that for old routers or dial up or something like that. Stay away from collecting. Oh hey, the feds can't put any worse spyware into old computers than are in your smartphone or modern operating system. There would be, of course, security concerns. It's like any virus could tear apart an old computer running old or not Windows Internet
well,
Explorer.
XP for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to put
I mean,
any. I'm not.
they could be so old that where would you even get a virus for an old system?
Yeah, they probably have anything that would work on them has probably gone out of style, but I wouldn't put anything important on them though. So like if it gets a virus, like whatever, just wipe the hard drive. Um, but my compromise for is I'm not as based as some people or as some people claim to be, like only using like a core booted OpenGL or whatever.
Well, you know, I think the people who do use Linux primarily use it for ideological reasons. That's what I've seen so far.
I mean, I do as well. Although it does work better for some things, but not everything. Part of it's just getting used to it because I've always used Windows. But anyway, my compromise for it. So I have a few computers, and most of them have Linux Mint on them. But obviously, I have Windows on this desktop that I'm using right now, um, and one or two others that I need for other stuff. And I think it's not a huge deal until you're gonna go full like get rid of all fed spyware, like get rid of your smartphone or install an alternative OS on a smartphone and have it, like, obviously a non-standard model probably won't work still if you have like a what's the Google one, a
Well, no,
Pixel.
I think you should, if you're gonna avoid spyware at all, you should not have any phone, right? Because
I don't know. Maybe I could put my SIM card back into one of my old flip phones from 12 years ago. uh,
yeah, but even then they could triangulate you because they know your number is attached to you, and then they can use the cell towers to
you're right.
find out where you are.
Yeah, you're right. It can. Wait, hold on. Can it just ping you without calling you? Do they all effectively have GPS on them? I actually don't know. I mean, I haven't worried about that. Yeah, you can have a
It's
landline.
probably, well, I mean, you probably couldn't get accuracy on the same level as GPS
Well,
through
anyway,
radio triangulation. But
GPS is kind of whatever. Dude, I try not to just be rigidly ideological about this. I think like what's the actual effect of this? Like what can they do with GPS? Basically, if they want to arrest me, then they can come arrest me, which they're probably going to be able to do anyway, because they know where I live and where I work and where I go to school. So, more bigger concern is cameras and microphones, in my opinion. Like, yeah, remember I was really upset when that Google Home was in our living space. Uh,
yeah,
Even though probably smartphones do the same thing, I'm just more worried about those because they actually have a constant passive audio input. Or
phones do too.
um,
It's fine.
probably. I supposedly you have to set up your Siri or whatever before it'll start waiting for audio prompts, but yeah, I mean they could listen to you anytime they want, so it's probably the same. I just find that to be one step closer. Like it has an excuse to be listening to you constantly, so it wouldn't. No one would question it if it's constantly listening and pinging your Wi-Fi and sending data packets up to their HQ.
Do you
Um,
remember the old Dark Knight movie where Batman is like, "Oh, if so, we'll use everyone's phones and we'll have them send
yeah,
out sonar and we'll map all the area." And then Morgan Freeman's character, whatever he's called, is like, "Oh, this is unethical. I should delete this. I won't work for you." And then
it's a
and then he's like,
violation of their
"That's okay.
privacy.
You, we'll delete it afterwards." Yeah, you can tell it's fake because they deleted that system afterwards instead of the federal government coming in and taking it immediately. But
I bet that actually exists. I bet they can do that. And they just hint at it in their Hollywood movies just to like go neener neener at us. So they
yeah,
love that. They love doing that kind of thing. They like leaving
the
hints.
secret cabal of
The cabal leaves little hints here and there just
about
to
how they
taunt you.
fortify things.
Just to taunt you. Just so that only the most schizo people will notice it. To taunt us. Anyway. Yeah, microphones and cameras are the main thing, and put your important stuff somewhere where it's harder to get, like on a Linux computer with an encrypted home folder. Um, so not foolproof, obviously, but yeah, I don't think it's a huge deal having a Windows computer in your house with no microphones or cameras attached to it that you know, like inside the computer that you can't detach like most laptops are. As long as you don't put any important stuff on it and you don't use them when you're on Kiwi farms talking about based matters. Based matters. But my goal is to separate from Silicon Valley entirely in the future. Someday we'll only do this stream on alt tech and not on YouTube. Someday. and we'll all delete our YouTube accounts.
Or YouTube will delete us.
Yeah, more likely YouTube will delete my account, and then we'll start streaming uh, on Rumble. It was Rumble, right?
We'll pay or not. Yeah, we'll pay the $100 a month to
$10 a month.
stream on.
That's $120 a year, though. Which I'm working with a budget here. Yeah, it's Rumble, and the link is in the link's in the Discord. I don't know if I'll add it. Well, maybe I should. I'll add it to the YouTube links. It does. I'm very slowly, whenever I get around to it, re-uploading all the stuff on there, and then eventually we're going to dual stream on there, or just use that one when this account inevitably gets banned. And yeah, I agree with that, Andrew. I think
computer user.
I think it's. I don't really like Windows 10, and I hate Windows 11. It pisses me off how like all of your personal folders are in the OneDrive folder by default, and they make it as big of a pain in the ass to not use them as possible. Like it'll constantly send you back to them as you're trying to use somewhere else. Like if you make a documents folder outside of it. Yeah, I don't like it. Windows 7 was the last good Windows operating system. They try to get more and more mobile friendly, and they get more and more on the cloud and being globo homo bureaucrats. So I would like to get away from them as much as possible, but it's still not entirely feasible to me right at the moment. But that is my long-term goal. Girls 4XYZ says, find yourself a hot girl here. I don't think I need a hot girl, girls XYZ. I need a girl who has some moral backbone and doesn't act like a complete asshole all the time. So, but thank you for the offer, though. Was there links? I didn't see any links. Advertising their website, and they don't even post their website. I would call that bad advertising.
I'm pretty sure their username is a website, but I'm not clicking on that shit.
Is XYZ
type that.
Is XYZ a type of
yeah,
call them? Suffix or whatever it's called?
Postfix.
Postfix. No, wait. I'm not sure. Okay. Anyway, I think we'll call it.
Type.
I think we'll call it good with that. Thank you for tuning in, including the people who came here to advertise. I advertise their porn sites, I assume.
I assume that's a bot.
That's okay. We love our bots. Are you the best? Where's my bots here? Are you the best? Where's my automated voters?
Give my heckin' botterinos an update.
Shout out to my bot voters out there, all my bot viewers.
Undead bots voting.
All my undead
bots. The junkyard.
All my illegal alien bots viewing the stream.
There's undead computers sending upvotes.
Old Windows 98 computers viewing me from the 90s.